All right, guys, welcome back. Sorry about the ARCA stream. I had a little bit of technical malfunctions over here on the CRN side. Had my good buddy John Obinger, who's actually in the broadcast booth with me here tonight, just trying to get me to get all my stuff situated along with Caleb Collins. He is also in the broadcast booth with me. Good evening, everybody out there. I'm sorry that you guys didn't get to see the ARCA race, but it looks like so far it is Mark Gonzalez out there leading the race for the trucks. Mike Little in second, Nick Nickerson in third, Gusick in fourth, Brett Gusick in fourth, Dakota Camper in fifth, Brandon Metler in sixth, Mark Thomas in seventh, Paul Owens in eighth, Kevin Foster in ninth. Then rounding out your top 10 is going to be Ryan J. Munoz. 11th is going to be Tyler Bramble, Todd Cottle in 12th, Dan Heisey. Welcome back, Dan Heisey. Running P number 13, Matt Crockett in 14th, AJ Chantry in 15th, Daniel Stein in 16th, Joe Sullivan in 17th, 18th is going to be Ricky Gonzalez, 19th is going to be Willem Layton, 20th is going to be Chris Corcoran, 21st is going to be the triple three of Chris S. Olson, 22nd is going to be David Tilford, 23rd is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Butler, 24th is going to be John Crane, and that's going to round out your 24 car field. A lot of guys out here doing what they possibly can to try to earn that first win of the season. We've had a couple of guys get their wins already. Going to see who can make it back there towards the victory lane. So far, I believe this could be what, second or third caution there, Caleb?
Yeah, I believe this is the first. Looks like 999 Willem Layton there got into the wall and got loose, and I think Crane just couldn't quite check up in time to avoid him there on the front stretch. As they like to say, self cleaning track seems like everybody winds up getting wadded up if you get into the wall here. It's not necessarily a narrow track. There's no runoff on either side of it, so it wouldn't surprise me if we have a couple more incidents like that one tonight.
Yeah, just like how Jimmy Johnson did back in 2006, 2007-ish, kind of when he came off of turn number four and just around and around and around and around. Never hit the wall, but you've seen just how self-cleaning it is. He went from the top part of the track up by the outside wall all the way down to the inside part of the wall and never once hit it. So this track kind of reminds me of a little bit of Bristol in a way. You come around a corner, it's blind. There's just no um, you don't have any peaky blinders, I could say. Uh, it, the minute you come around the corner, the wreck's just there. There's really nothing you can do. Always got to have your head out there on a swivel. And so far, 15 laps out of 80. And this is definitely going to be a good show that these guys are going to put on. Mark Gonzalez, though, out there in the race league, going to elect to take the outside from Mike Little. Or maybe Mike Little was the race leader and Mark Gonzalez is just trying to take that outside from him.
Yeah, Mark had a pretty good run in the ARCA race just before this. Had a little miscue there trying to get to pit road and kind of got stuck back in the back. Man, it's a hornet's nest. We love, especially as broadcasters, having a big field here. Looks like we got 24 trucks in this one tonight. Kind of similar to the ARCA race, but that also means it's a hornet's nest back there. A lot of guys fighting for position with all they got, and it's pretty easy to get tangled up in a mess really fast at this track.
Yeah, definitely going to be a big mess out here. And, you know, the trucks are going to get a little bit tight off of exit. You definitely got to watch that. Coming off the corner, I know when I did the official series out here at Dover a couple of seasons ago, the first couple laps, the truck was completely fine, but the minute you got on the gas just a little bit too quick is when you ended up getting a little bit too tight. But nonetheless, if you save your tire, you save what you got to do, you can make that truck last a lot of laps. I know last season, Mike Little running with EPI loved this track, and he's right there with Mark Gonzalez and Nick Nickerson, by the way, who is going to put the challenge on for these two young drivers.
Yeah, a lot of good ones in the field tonight. Mike just finished getting that win in the ARCA race. I know he's really excited about that. A guy that, man, is really tough to beat there in the ARCA cars. I think you're right, though, Dylan. Expect him to stay up there towards the front of this one. And Mark and Nick, they're going to give him a run for his money. Mark Thomas, like we talked to him last week, kind of not necessarily known for his oval prowess, but he's good out here, too.
Yeah, these guys get ready to come up off of turn number 3 and 4. Barney's got the green flag. Mark Gonzalez leads these guys into turn number 1. Gaps the field going into turn 1. That's going to leave Mike Little and Brett Gusick and Nick Nickerson all too wide, as Brett Gusick was a big winner out of that, going from 4th to 1st right off the start, as I got a little bit of connection issues on my side as I am focusing in on the number 46 machine of Mike Little. And throughout the whole race, you're going to see these guys get a little bit jumbled up no matter where they go. You know, these guys, if they're not trying to save their tire, like right there, Mark Gonzalez coming off of turn number 2, gets into the wall, but not that severely, but a little bit of damage can go a long way.
Yeah, especially on these trucks, they rely so heavily on that side force to get through those turns a little bit faster than the guys around you. Man, it's so easy to hit that outside wall getting off the turns here. You're going to feel it for the rest of that run, though, if you do. Maybe gentle enough there that it's not going to affect Mark, though.
Yeah.
Hopefully, for his sake.
While these guys get this internet connection figured out, I'm just going to go ahead and go up here to the blimp static mode, as we are under caution.
A little bit of damage there. Looks like PB.
Again. Chris Corcoran would be involved in that, and I'm going to see if I can pick it up, and we'll that's a lot of people that were involved in that one. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back here. Still having a lot of difficulties up here in the broadcast booth. Not sure exactly what is going on my end of the spectrum, but gonna try to get these race in as much as I possibly can. You can see down there in the bottom left, the cars are constantly blinking and blipping everywhere. It is all on my end. I'm going to try to make sure that this works. I've tried everything. Um, as of right now, it looks like it's handling everything well. I had to do some more stuff to the broadcast, but so far it is looking so good. We are 27 laps in of 80, and you can see there, Caleb, pretty much like the top 10, top 12 are all single file.
Yeah, Mark got a really good restart up there. Paul Owens, not a guy that I'm surprised to see up there in the top 5, but definitely looking strong to start this race out. Mike Little, like we just talked about, Mark Thomas, both right up there. Crockett is up there in the top 5. Our winner from last week, Dakota Happy Camper, up there in 6. So not a whole lot of surprises up there at the front right now. I think Nick Nickerson is probably looking to get around Sullivan here a little bit, maybe, and he wouldn't be one that I'm surprised to see up at the front before this thing's over with either.
Yeah, looking at Nick Nickerson right now, he just took the inside from Joseph Sullivan. It looked like Joseph Sullivan just moved over, said, "Here you go, buddy. Take it. You can have it. Don't want to battle them too much. Save their tires as much as they possibly can, and work their way back up through the field." You know, you got Mark Gonzalez and Mike Little battling again for the lead. Looking back up here as Mark Gonzalez has a little bit of almost a 1 second gap on our second place runner, Mike Little. Paul Owens actually all over the back bumper of that number 46 Juggernaut Energy Machine and Amsoil. And then right behind Paul Owens, you got Mark Thomas. Mark Thomas has made his way back up here to the top 4. Then you got Crockett. No shame there for Matt Crockett. He is up there in the top 5, doing what he possibly can to see if he can juggle out a race win here tonight. But he's got a lot of top and fast competition if he wants that to happen. But back here in the back, they are too wide as they get ready to jumble all the way around. The 8 of Kevin Foster and the 15 of Brandon Metler, too wide behind Joe Sullivan.
Yeah, and talking about Crockett, one thing Crockett is really good at that I wish I was a little bit better at is he's very good at pacing himself. He knows that you got to race the first half of this race to get to the second half of the race. So we'll see kind of how much he rides the line of saving the equipment, because I know that you could definitely tell a difference in that ARCA race whenever you were saving tires and started to catch guys towards the end of the run versus whenever you were just driving balls to the wall, so to speak, and just going fast. Now, a guy that can manage to do both, though, is definitely our leader, who looks like might have just scraped the wall a little bit. Not too bad. Mark Gonzalez, man, Mark just he's got that it factor. You know, he can go. He'll blow your doors up, and he's just fast. And somehow he's still saving tires most of the time. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him up there at the front of this one all night long, especially after that mistake he made trying to get into the pits. I know he's trying to make up for that one tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Nickerson has made his way up to the top 5 as there's a car in the wall. The triple number 9, loose all the way down the backstretch, hits the inside wall, comes up in front of traffic. Everybody's going to be able to get around him as he's able to keep it down low. You want to talk about holding your steering wheel tight, making sure that there's no brown in your underpants. That was one of those moments.
Yeah, no doubt. Talk about pucker factor. He tried to save it on the backstretch there, but man, it's so hard to hang on to it when it gets loose. And golly, what a great job everybody did to get around him whenever it came back on the track, because he was just along for the ride at that point for sure.
Yeah, all alone by himself as we have a good battle out here on track. That's going to be the number 54 and the number 50 of Mark Thomas and Paul Owens. Looks like Paul Owens got a little bit of right front damage to that all-black machine, number 54. And you can see just the different types of lines that these guys are running. Paul Owens running a little bit of a higher line than Mark Thomas, but Mark Thomas able to pull away just a little bit.
Yeah, and Mark's another one that's really good at saving tire. Not that Paul Owens isn't, but we've seen Mark do that time and time and time again. He is really good at saving tires and being there whenever it counts. I kind of wonder if it seems like these trucks hit the right rear a little more often than they hit the right front. But yeah, Paul Owens there, like you were talking about, that damage on the right front. I wonder if he's fighting more of a tight condition in this truck. They do tend to be a little bit tighter than the ARCA cars. So I wonder if that's going to be a factor in this as these tires start to wear out more.
I feel like that would be, the front end being a little bit more tighter than the rear. I believe the rear will get a little bit snap tail happy, while the front just wants to plow like a snow plow that I'm getting ready to experience here at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we got that here this morning. You have fun with that. We had a fun day down here.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Thomas and Mike Little both in the pit lane this time by, getting it woed down just enough. And this could very well be the final pit stop of tonight's race.
Yeah, looking at Owens' on board, it looks like he is fighting a little bit of a tight condition.
And he's definitely not the only
like
one.
Everybody else.
Yeah,
You see, I was just looking at the 7 and the 77. They've both pancaked the wall. You do get one fast repair here. Kind of makes me wonder if we're going to see guys try to use this fast repair on this pit stop. You know that damage is really going to affect those trucks.
Yeah, the damage is definitely going to affect anybody out there that's running. As we have a new race leader. This is going to be the number 2, Nick Nickerson. He's going to take over the race lead with Dakota Happy Camper in P number 2. Brett Gusick in 3rd. Kevin Foster running out your top 4. But the man that is on the mission is going to be that number 7 machine of Ricardo Gonzalez.
So now, Dylan, here's the question. Now that pit stops have started, some of these guys are staying out on track. How long do you want to stay out on track and hope for a caution here, and try to catch some guys a lap down, because fresh tires, they're going to be flying through the field here.
Yeah, just me personally, I'd rather do the undercut. Basically, what I would do is, whenever I feel like the leaders get ready to pit, I'd go a lap before the leader. But with every lap that these guys are staying out, they're going to lose a little bit more time to the guys that have pit already. And that could spell disasters. They could be a little bit slower on entry and exit than these guys, as Brett Gusick makes a beautiful pass on that number 2 machine for the race lead. And now you can see Nick Nickerson battling with the number 04 machine. And it's only just a matter of time before these guys get caught by the guys on newer tires. And then they'll realize, like, hey, I got to pit. And by that time, it could be all said and done.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like, we've got a gaggle of cars. Kind of the result of that is all these guys on varying strategies. There's a whole pack back here, kind of around Paul Butler, Brandon Metler, Todd Cottle, Ryan Munoz. It makes for some exciting racing. I don't know if they're enjoying it as much as we are, but it sure is fun to watch from up here. I'm glad I'm not having to do the math and make that decision down there on the track.
Yeah, that definitely going to be something different to watch here, is, trying to follow along with these guys and just, I don't know what it is. I mean, that I was up working on this since about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock-ish, somewhere out of there with John Dobinger, and we thought we had it all figured out the minute I got in the ARCA session, and it wasn't going on. But I had faith in the truck series, and the show must go on, so I won't be leaving until this race is said and done. Get the interviews in and out, and then after that, we'll try to figure out what is going on with my computer as of right now. But it looks like the 87, he's going to go down into pit lane. Not sure what happened to him. maybe he ended up just towing. No, he didn't. He actually made a scheduled pit stop there as he's getting ready to come back out on the racetrack.
Yeah, technology's great till it ain't, isn't it? I
Yeah.
love saying that. Oh, look, who's that in the wall? Is that the 10 car there? No, that's Dakota Camper just smacked the wall. I think he had a little bit of contact with the 19 car. No, hang on, let me find that again. Maybe it wasn't Dakota. Yeah, that is Crockett, and Crockett is he's not very pleased about it. He smacked the wall with that right side. Got into to the 19 car. Not sure if the 19 went high or the 10 went low, but I think Crockett's going to be wanting to take that fast repair as he comes down and looks to enter the pits here.
Yeah, looking at it right now. Go to try to follow along with Dakota Camper, but it's not really panning out my way as this. It's kind of aggravating for me. I mean, I I don't know where all this ended up springing on and about, and yeah, it's gotta do what I have to do to try to make this thing work to its.
You know, we are communicating at basically light speed all over the globe trying to do this. Sometimes we get used to it working so well. We kind of forget how it goes whenever it doesn't work so well.
Yeah, I
Makes you
guess.
thankful for the times that are good, right?
Yeah, I guess you can call me the F team, as I have failed this miserably, and you know, it just got to take it how you can. I mean, it is just, yeah, this is a total bummer. Hopefully, at the end of this race and everything is concluded, I can get a hold of my cousin Todd Cottle, that's actually out there on track, see what he knows about the whole computer stuff. I am not very good at the computer stuff myself, so see what he knows, and then obviously wait for Jimmy and Carl to be like, "Hey, I need some help. Send help." It's
Well, Todd is probably going to be in a mood to help because he's having a decent run here. It looks like he's still top 10 right now. I think he is a lap down on pit strategy right now, but I got him scored in 8, so he's looking pretty good. I'm trying to get an eye on, I think, just looking from a glance here, I think Ricky Gonzalez in that 7 car, we were talking about whether or not he was going to take that repair. It looks like he did. I'm not seeing any damage on the right front of that car now.
as I am looking at the blimp static view, you can see there in the track map, you can see everybody going around the track, but looking at my track, you just can't see anything as it cuts now down into the racing line here, and starting to see a little bit of Nick Nickerson out there pulling away from Brett Gusick, but there's a bigger battle with these guys as you know, they're right there neck and neck. As the 04, Brett Gusick actually went down pit lane.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a scheduled stop for him. So that kind of answers the question of how long do you wait to come in? Brett really was a guy that he was doing really well in the ARCA race earlier tonight, too. And you look at that 04 truck, still looking really clean. That's kind of the goal here at the Monster Mile is
into the pits as well.
You gotta kind of make sure that Miles doesn't get you with that outside wall.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Nickerson made his way into pit lane. Well, I made another adjustment, gonna take away almost half the field and put it on to where it only shows 10 cars, maybe 12 out there on track, just that way you guys can see a little bit of good racing out here. Looks like Nick Nickerson is going to be the race leader, but he did go down pit lane. That's going to inherit the lead of Mike Little. And all over the back bumper of that number 46 machine is going to be the number, I believe that's 28. Or is that 26? Not sure. Oh, Paul Butler's actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Butler just came into the pits, so I think he probably got his points
Mike
for lap.
Gets hooked by Willem.
Oh,
that's going to bring out our first caution. And I know Mike Little is not going to be happy about that. We're going to go ahead and jump back to a little bit of a replay here and just look and see how this all unfolded. Just going to go ahead and rewind it just a little bit here. And yeah, Willem just came up off the wall. I thought maybe he was going to get a little bit. Yeah, he just came up off the wall. Try to. Oh yeah, netcode played a big factor, but you could see there just how much
Yeah.
he came up off the wall, and Mike Little just came down across the front end of Willem, hits the inside wall, comes back up, gives Willem another shot, and that's going to bring out our first caution.
Yeah,
Like
and
Mark
Willem
Thomas
kind
back
of
in the
hearing Willem on the radio, he did apologize for it and took responsibility for it. But yeah, I'm seeing what you're seeing, Dylan. That was a whole lot of netcode. He did come down a little bit, but man, netcode is. It just seems like it's so bad in these trucks compared to most cars on iRacing for whatever reason, whether it's the bed or I don't know what it is about it, but definitely our old friend netcode reared its ugly head there.
Well, Willem's also in Australia, so he has a little bit of a ping difference to most of our U.S.
Yeah,
people here.
probably plays a factor in it too.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Willem came over to core for the road stuff because I remember
Yeah, he's
racing
in our
with him in the
GT
D
series.
series. Yeah, I remember racing him in the D series, and then he just took like a big old hiatus. That's kind of like Dan Heisey. I haven't talked to or seen Dan Heisey since season 4 of Premier Series. Good to see him back out there. Another good guy that we got to see back out here is going to be the number 87 of Daniel Stein. So you got Dan Heisey and Dan Stein out there, both out on the racetrack in the court trucks. But 62 laps down, just a few handful more, and it is Dakota Camper in P number 1 with Kevin Foster in second, Ricky Gonzalez in third. Those are your top 3 podium spots. Joe Sullivan's going to be in fourth, Dan Stein in fifth, Dan Heisey in sixth, Mark Thomas in seventh, Nick Nickerson in eighth, Brett Gusick in ninth, and Paul Owens is going to round out your top 10. Everybody from Paul Owens back are all going to be 1 to 2 laps down. Looking at
Well, that was an exciting shakeup for the broadcast, wasn't it? I love when that happens when I'm not the one racing in it.
Yeah, and if I know Mike Little, he's going to be a little bit of a upset. He does tend to shrug a lot of stuff off, so maybe later I'll hop on down with him while he's doing some more Call of Duty or something, and talk to him, get him, to rub his ears and say "woosah." I mean, it's just no pun intended, I guess. Try to be funny, and didn't get the reaction I wanted. But
And the award for cheesiest goes to Dylan McDonald.
hey, you know what? At least I read Carl's message in Discord earlier, saying that he kept me up too late last week and all that stuff. So I got out of work a little bit earlier today, and now everything's fine. I'm not jumbling my words. I guess we'll find out whenever we get to the in-race interviews. But yeah, and we're gonna have to see what happens after that.
Yeah, Dylan, the list of things that aren't working properly today, I can't even get SDK to come up for me.
Yeah, see, it just a whole
Or even
bunch of
download
stuff.
it for that matter.
Yeah, it just want to
Is
thank.
it a full moon? No, it's not a full moon. It's not Friday the 13th anymore. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I do want to sincerely apologize to everybody who was wanting to watch that ARCA race. I do apologize. If I do get the situation figured out, I will go back and I will rebroadcast it on CRN so you guys can see how that race did turn out. Same with the truck race. I know you guys haven't been able to see a whole lot of it. There's more trucks out here on track, I promise you. It's just I had to minimize the field for myself so you guys can see a little bit of good, clean racing. I want to thank everybody out there tuning in week in and week out. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. And don't forget that over on UCRL, Jimmy and Carl are both live over there watching those guys do their playoff debuts. Tomorrow night, no broadcast, but on Thursday, there's going to be another broadcast through Jimmy and Carl as the 87s go to Iowa So that's definitely going to be something different that you want to see. Paul Owens on the loud pedal, coming back to green, almost hits the wall, but keeps it straight. He's going to gap the 04 Brett Gusick down into turn number 1. Kevin Foster up to P number 3, followed by Dakota Happy Camper. We have another caution as
Yep.
Willem back there in the back, slow on the racetrack. Not sure what happened to the number 999.
Yeah, I think he blew an engine under caution, Dylan. I think he was trying to get back around for to make it to the pits, I believe, and it looks like he blew an engine and was trying to get back around and just didn't quite make it down there on the apron. So we shouldn't see anybody running into him, but.
Yeah, that's always going to be a bad, disastrous, as Dan Heisey is the one of the number 26 machines. So good to see him back out here. Good to see everybody out here week in and week out. And, the more that these races go, the more I really wish I was racing in them. So it looks like the 999 is still stopped down there on the apron. Not sure what's going on with the 999 as he just towed into pit lane.
Yeah, so it showed him. Let's see when it shows the motor blowing. Because they're all under caution now.
Yeah, SDK never picked it up on my end, so I didn't realize what was going on. And now we have found out.
It sounded like somebody else just blew an engine too, Dylan.
Looking at it now, I don't see anybody slowing down.
He was going to catch up to the field. Yep, his motor just let go. Water temp was up about 220. Oil temp was 220. Oh, no, never mind. That's right. It doesn't show me the other gauges live. I think those are just its set values.
Yes, I know. I don't know if you guys have. I'll only speak for myself here, but I know more than once I've gotten that meatball and thought, well, maybe I don't necessarily have to tow. Maybe I can make it around and grab a quick repair here, and then you just hear it let loose, and that's the end of it.
That's the thing with these trucks. A little bit of nose damage goes a long way on both the Chevy, the Ford, and the Toyota. I mean, it just the slightest little bit of contact. It's just like real life. You watch, who's a truck competitor? I don't know. Ron Hornaday, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch the truck series, but you push or you do a little bit wrong to that nose, or the front end gets pushed in just a little bit, you're going to see those oil temps and that water temp climb like you have a busted radiator. So definitely got to watch the contact to the front end of the truck. Same with the rear end. I mean, if you upset that spoiler just a little bit, you're going to be a little bit loosey-goosey, and you're going to have takeoff down there in Texas.
I'm going to have to, Dylan, John, I'm going to have to Google when the last race was that Ron Hornaday ran in the truck series. That's what's the last truck series race you watched there, Dylan?
Ancient history.
I got to bust your chops a little bit on that reference.
I watched the Daytona race.
I think Cal Petty was still in NASCAR.
I think you're right.
The last one I watched was when I think it was Matt Crafton did a barrel roll down the Daytona backstretch onto another truck.
Oh yeah, that was an exciting one.
It looked pretty exciting. Glad I was at home watching it on TV and not inside the truck. So
yeah, no kidding.
I think that's about the last time I watched any type of NASCAR. Not really big into it anymore since I had to work on Sundays. But getting ready to go green back here. Paul Owens back on the inside of this time. Going to put Brett Gusick on the outside, coming out of turn number 2. And you can just see how bumpy it is kind of in turn 1 and 2. And another guy that's going to be looking to make his way and claw his way up here to the front is going to be that number 2 machine of Nick Nickerson, which I have not seen Nick at all since we've been under. Oh, there he is. Nope, that's not him.
Yeah,
There
he's
he
back
is.
there and
I
looks
see
like
him.
about ninth.
Yeah, he's right behind the number 87 of Dan Heisey as they're getting ready to come through turn 3 and 4.
It's showing
Paul Owens has the loud pedal button. When's he going to get back on it? He's going to slow up, and there he goes. He's going to take these guys back down the front stretch into turn number 1 and 2. Going to keep it down low. And Brett Gusick kind of timed that restart just a little bit too good as these two are able to pull out to a little bit of a half a second lead.
Yeah, great restart for those. Here's a crossover from Guzik looking to be inside. And I think he's going to complete the pass on the 54 right here, and Guzik back to the lead.
Yeah, you
nice
see
little
there
battle
coming out
between
of
Mark Thomas and Nickerson.
yeah, coming out of turn number 2, it looked like it was the number 54 that got a little bit loose coming out.
Oh, 54 got a little
54
shove.
got a little bit of a I didn't
Foster
get to
got
see
into
it.
the back of him there. Everybody kept it straight, though. Everybody's still going the right direction.
And that's what I was talking about. A little bit of front end damage. Gonna go up here, look at the rear camera of the number 8 of Kevin Foster. See what kind of damage he has on that front end, because a little bit of damage can go a long way. Like I said earlier, looking at it now, that front end of the number 8 is looking pristine and clean as he is
making a charge through the field.
Yeah.
Paul Owens is he's not in a good spot here. As they're going to go 3 wide coming out of 4.
Ooh, that's bold.
Oh, and Camper
big wreck, Dan
doesn't
Heisey.
work.
Big wreck. That's going to bring out another caution, and that's going to take out a lot of these trucks back here in the back.
Yeah, including last week's winner. I think he will still have a fast repair left, but he's going to have to work from the back here on this one for sure.
Yeah, SDK did not pick it up, but it looks like David Tilford, he's going to be down into pit lane along with many other people as John Crane went down into pit lane. Paul Owens had to jump into it as Paul Owens probably had a blown motor.
Ooh.
Looking at it now.
Butler made it through by the skin of his teeth on that one.
The 87 and the 11 had a little bit of miscommunication there. Going to go ahead and jump back over here to this little bit of a replay. The 87 is under power, same with the 11.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
11. A little dangerous there, Mr. Crane.
Yeah, that's going to scream championship implications. As it looks like the 11 is not too happy with the number 87.
About time for an emotional damage.
Yeah, well, you know what? I can't really say that because I'm having it right now. You know, can't have all the trucks out there on the screen. But, you know, hopefully it is fixed by the time that everything gets done and settled. 5 laps to go in this 80-lap race. And you can see there, Kevin Foster doing a little bit of tire dipping. Don't know if you guys ran Spa last season or last year. A lot of guys got caught tire dipping. It does work. Can confirm. I've done it.
Now, are you telling me that drivers will bend the rules from time to time?
No, never that.
I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I may have gone on a little lawn mowing excursion in the Daytona 24 when the tires got over 200. I mean, I've been intentional, but hey, got them right down under 170, ready to go again.
Yeah, it was an accident, right? It was an accident.
So, just saying, you know, there's a famous word that Mr. Jeffy G has said. He said, if your crew chief ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So, I mean, Ray Evernham, you know who I'm talking about, Ray Evernham.
He knows a thing or two about winning.
Yes, he does, especially the Rainbow Warrior number 24.
Because these trucks don't have any right side mirrors for Owens to try to take off either.
Oh, so that's a good point. Yeah. I'm surprised he doesn't protest that with iRacing.
As these guys are getting filed back up here, it's going to be, I believe, possibly the first green-white checkered depending on if it is 2 to go this time by, as Kevin Foster is going to take a look and see how fast the pace car is going. You can see it there. And the pace
The lights are
car,
still on. So.
yeah, that the pace car drivers get a little bit worried about that number 8 machine, as he keeps coming up in there, looking at the driver, saying, "Hey, how's it going? How fast you going? I need you to back it down just a bit."
So iRacing's named the Flagman. Do we know who's driving the pace car? Does he have a name?
That's a good question. I'm
We're
not
just gonna
sure.
call him Bill and Barney.
Bill. I
Bill.
like it.
Well,
It could be
I guess
Bill
Kevin was
Nye, it
looking
could be
for
Bill
Bill's backside.
Foster, Bill Lester. I mean, it could be anything. It's it's always fun, and that's who I'm going to start calling it now. Now, if the pace car decides to stay out a little bit longer, we're going to call him the King.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, maybe Chester the Molester.
No, can't do that one. But
No, that would be in the truck, the unmarked truck.
yeah, the unmarked truck there is 1 to go this time by, and this is going to be a good restart. You got the 8 of Kevin Foster leading, taking the outside of the number 04 Brett Gusick. They got Ricky Gonzalez, and the man up there in 4th is going to be Nick Nickerson. But look at the front end of Nick Nickerson's truck. He's got a little bit of damage on that front, and
A little bit on that right rear too,
yeah,
or
the
left
right
rear.
rear's got a little bit. It's definitely going to be something to watch and see how quickly Nick can get up through the field to snag another win.
Just about wiped Terry off the side of the car too.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. As coming out of turn 3 and 4, Kevin Foster, your race leader, going to have the loud pedal, going to see what he can do with it. Going through, coming to the front stretch, he can go whenever he pleases. He's going to wait, and Brett Gusick was actually the race leader there, as Brett Gusick doesn't get the better jump on Kevin Foster. Got a little bit tail happy, getting up through the gears. Kevin Foster and Nick Nickerson on the outside, Ricky Gonzalez on the inside, trying to battle for the top 3 spot. Side by side, going into turn number 3 and 4, Ricky Gonzalez not giving up to the number 2 of Nick Nickerson. Nick rolling that outside better than anybody has all day long, but not able to get around the number 7 of Ricky Gonzalez.
Really good 2-wide racing here. Nick's going to have the run up off of this corner. Man, Ricky's just staying with him, though, down there.
Yeah, you can see there, Ricky took a higher entry trying to push Nick up the track. And that's just something that a lot of oval racers do. They'll notice that they're getting a better run coming up into the corner. They're going to run them a little bit higher, get them up out of the groove. Make them check up a little bit more than what you have to do. And you see there, that's exactly what Ricky Gonzalez was doing. But look at Nick, power back on the outside. Still too wide for about 3 to 4 laps. This is the final lap, and it's going to be Brett Gusick taking home the race win here tonight. It's going to be Ricky Gonzalez edging out Nick Nickerson by 0.007 of a second. Wow. The last 4 laps under green, side by side. And your top 3 is going to be Brett Gusick, Kevin Foster, and Ricky Gonzalez. And wow, that was absolutely amazing.
These truck finishes sure have delivered this season. I mean, by maybe a foot. And I'm not convinced that if Nick didn't have that damage on the front end, that wouldn't have been an absolute tie there. It was just by that much. What a finish there for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up these race results here for you guys before we get these guys brought up into the broadcast booth. It's going to be Brett Gusick getting the race win here tonight. Kevin Foster in 2nd, Ricky Gonzalez in 3rd. Nick Nickerson is going to be P number 4. Paul Butler in 5th. Dakota Camper is going to be P6. Chris S. Olson is going to be 7th. Dan Heisey is going to be 8th. Brandon Miller is going to be 9th. Joseph Sullivan is going to be 10th. Todd Cottle is going to be 11th. Mark Thomas in 12th. Tyler Bramble in 13th. Ryan J. Munoz in 14th. Matt Crockett in 15th. David Tilford in 16th. Daniel Stein in 17th. Paul Owens in 18th. Gotta have to roll it down. Give me one quick second. There we go. 19th is going to be John Crane. 20th is going to be Mark Gonzalez. 21st is going to be Willem Layton. 22nd is going to be Mike Little. 23rd is going to be AJ Chantry. 24th is going to be Chris Corcoran. That's going to be your 24 car field. As you see there, in 25th, it says Caleb Collins.
Yeah,
Rage,
just ignore that.
Rage Motorsports Team Tequila finishing
Hey, if you're
dead
not
last.
first, you're last, baby.
Hey, you know what? No harm about that. You got to do what you got to do. I'm going to go ahead and get these guys into the broadcast booth here momentarily as we're going to start with our third place finisher. That's going to be the number 7 of Ricky Gonzalez. We are now in touch with the number 7 of Ricky Gonzalez. Ricky, this is Dylan and Caleb in the broadcast booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, I got a copy.
All right. Hell of a finish between you and Nick Nickerson there. You were not letting him go that easy. And .007 for the third finish, or for the P3 finish. Kind of walk us through how your race went here tonight. You had a little bit of damage on that left side, or yeah, the right side of that number 7 Legacy Power Machine.
Yeah, we took a little beating. That's not gonna be good in the clean driver award, but yeah, we just wanted to chill in the back. I knew I'm not running for points, so this thing is just for fun and learning. Keep learning and trying to get better as we run. But yeah, we started in the back, just got stuck in traffic, couldn't go anywhere at the start of the race, and then me and PB decided to come down pit road on one of those cautions, top off, and then didn't take a set. So that just having one set of tires kind of like plays more strategy into it. So like I knew if I got past halfway, I could probably make the tires last. But my right front was cooked at the end of that first stint. It was like in the 50s. So we came down pit road at like lap 54. I knew I was going to be faster than some of these guys, but the difference was, man, the fresh tires to old tires was crazy. But yeah, we were able to get track position. That caution came out. We were able to get track position, and there was one person I was definitely worried about. It was that two truck. But to clip him at the line, yeah, that's pretty cool. Nick's a clean racer. I knew he wasn't going to wreck me. I was going to try to not wreck him. Um, no, he was. It looked like he was pinching me from the cockpit. He probably wasn't. But yeah, that was just good, hard fought racing. I'd race with Nick and Foster. There's some other new cats here in core that we're trying to get used to running around, but for the most part, I was comfortable running around Nick, and yeah, that was just hard racing at the end. I wanted to get third, and I didn't know if we are gonna have a broadcast or not. No, we're having some technical difficulties, but it seems like you got to figure it out. Happy that you got to figure it out. And yeah, that was kind of the rundown of what happened tonight.
Well, it kind of got figured out. I could only show about 10 cars at the most. So, like you said, it was still a good race. I think 2 total cautions, maybe 3. And that last caution that came out, what was your strategy? Take 2 tires, or were you going to take 4?
No, we took four. So that green flag pit stop, I took four, and I was trying to baby. I knew I had to hustle it for the first couple of laps to get the temps up, and then I was trying to baby it majority of that second green flag run. But the caution kind of saved me. We had just, I think it was 5 laps I ran, and so I was like, all right, let's cool them down. Let's reset, and we're here at the end. Let's just try to not get in anybody's mess and try to not to get caught up in anything. So yeah, I knew I didn't have anything for probably Foster or Brett. I wanted to get Foster, but with me and Nick battling side by side, it kind of got away from us. And then I was hoping nobody was going to catch us. I know PB, Dakota, and Chris were all behind us. I was hoping those guys weren't going to catch us. But yeah, with me and Nick battling hard at the end, those 2 guys just kind of checked out on us. And big congrats to Brett. He deserves that win. I believe that's 2 in a row for him. I think he won last week at Charlotte, and now he's winning here at Dover. So big congrats to him.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tough one to beat. But, before we let you get on out of here, Caleb, is there any questions you want to ask Mr. Tequila Time?
Well, because I share his fandom. I'm not going to mention anything about any football games that happened this week. But Ricky, so you talked about running these races and learning from them, and we all race a myriad of different cars and different
Right.
series together. Can you, for those watching that don't run iRacing and are watching to cheer somebody on that does, can you kind of explain what you take from these trucks, how they handle compared to other cars, and what you can learn from running a race like this one?
Yeah, I think in this truck, you just gotta have the momentum. So you gotta keep the speed up in these things. Got to keep her wound up. If you don't keep her wound up, you're just gonna get blown by. These guys are gonna take advantage of you one slip up, and it happened to me a couple times tonight. But yeah, keeping the momentum up in these trucks is very fairly key. I know that I run a next gen league, and it's all about saving tire and that thing. It's not necessarily keeping the momentum up in those cars just because they have so much horsepower and torque going to the rear tires. But running these trucks, for me personally, I just want experience on the track. I'm still kind of new. I've only been on this server for a little over a year, so I'm still learning every day. I'd like to get better at road racing, and I know Caleb, you love dirt. I'd love to get better at dirt. I'm not the best at dirt, so we're just trying to take strides. I think we're doing that each race we're in, and whether it's core or MSRL or HTL or whatever league we're running in. I'm definitely gaining those experience pointers and other people helping me out. So big shout out, Mark Thomas, if you're listening. That's to you, bud, for helping me at Road America. But yeah, I just want seat time at the end of the day. If we can get seat time and get comfortable with everything, I think we can go out and probably get some wins and maybe one day run for a championship.
All right. Well, Ricky, before I let you get on out of here, I know there's some people on that number 7 Legacy Power truck you want to give a big shout out to.
Yeah, just Legacy Power. That's a company I work for here in Dallas Fort Worth. So anybody interested in going residential solar, definitely hit up legacypower.com. Tequila Time Brothers. I wish we could have got 2 positions better. My brother, who's in this race, it's always fun racing with him, and it's always fun beating him. Let me throw that out there. Everybody in core that does this stuff, Carl, Jimmy, all the admins, PB, Eric Andrews, you two for doing the broadcasts. You two are probably one of my best friends on the server, so it's good to talk to you guys. Hopefully, we'll go on to, I think it's RRP. It won't be in the truck next week. We leave Sunday to go to Colorado, so I'll be in the booth for both races. It'll be fun to watch and hopefully see these guys get after it.
All right, Ricky. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week. But for now, you'll be in the booth for the ARCA next week, as long as we get my computer issues figured out. So, sir,
Yeah,
we're going to
you'll
go
get it
ahead.
figured out.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and let you get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night, and go 49ers.
Go Chiefs. We'll see y'all guys. Appreciate
See
it.
you later, buddy. Not gonna lie, I wonder if he realizes that I'm not a Bengals fan.
I don't know if he cares.
Yeah, I don't know if he cares at all, but since we couldn't get a hold of our second place finisher, we're going to go ahead and move right on into our first place finisher. That's going to be the number 04, Brett Gusick. Brett, this Dylan and Ricky, Dylan and Caleb in the booth, you got a copy.
Yeah, I've got you guys.
All right, kind of watching the replay back here as I was too focused on the battle for third, but kind of walk us through your race leading up to the finish.
Yeah, we got some laps there, and in the ARCA cars, I didn't really have a ton of laps in the ARCA cars, and basically none in the ARCA car at Dover, and I think we were bound to do pretty well in that. We came into the truck race. It's more something I'm comfortable with, and the car is on rails, and it allows us to make moves after a long run. The cars get a little bit tight after a while, and I feel like I'm pretty confident saving tires. So any little tire advantage I can use usually works out at this track, and I have a pretty good feel for running this track. But kind of going through the whole race, I was just trying to not get any damage, trying to pit at the right time, and fortunately we did. We didn't pit too early, didn't pit too late to get trapped a lap down or anything. We got back at the tail end of the lead lap there after our pit stops, and just tried to move our way up there, and we eventually did.
Yeah, I mean, you come in, you dominate Dover essentially, and next week you got IRP, another short track on tonight or next week's schedule. Is IRP going to be a track that you're going to be looking forward to, or is that just you want to just ready to get that out of the way?
I've run there a few times. I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite. I feel like I know how to get around that track relatively well, but I won't really know until it actually happens, and we're there next week, whether I'm comfortable or not. I think kind of regardless, we'll be hopefully running up front, running for the win, hopefully, and yep, that's pretty much all I got to say about IRP.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun track and fun broadcast. Hopefully, if I can get my computer issues figured out. But, Caleb, before we let our race winner go away and celebrate this race win here tonight, is there anything you want to give a shout or ask our race winner here tonight?
Well,
Yeah,
got to compliment him on a very well run race. You ran well in Narca before this, and you were talking about saving tires, but I didn't see you saving tires on that burnout. So well executed burnout. I don't think we can talk enough about the difficulties of doing a good burnout at Dover. That banking on the front stretch, it's just not conducive to a good burnout. So well done there. Um, but you're definitely looking like one of in all seriousness, one of the favorites for this championship. The way you're positioning yourself early on here in the season, are you looking that far ahead? How competitive are you thinking you're going to be here? Are you kind of setting that goal, looking that far forward, or are you just taking it one race at a time?
I'm honestly just taking it one race at a time. I think, to be honest, I might not run all the races. I'm just gonna go out here and go trophy hunting, and see what we can bring home over the season. To be honest.
All right. Well, Brett, before we let you get on out of here, does anybody want to give a shout out to on that number
Yeah,
04 machine?
yeah. I'd just like to thank everybody watching tonight. Like to thank everybody here at Core Racing Network. Like to thank everybody who's admitting this group. Week in and week out, and like to thank some of the Bandit guys that I'm usually affiliated with. And just like to thank everybody watching at home, and hope we put on a good show.
All right, Brett. Well, we'll be talking to you hopefully next week and sometimes throughout the whole season. And hopefully you have a good rest of your night, sir.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Caleb. A little bit of a takeaway from both races. Well, I guess this race. Uh, the ARCA race kind of went fairly well from what I could see until, the cars would disappear. But the truck race, phenomenal racing the whole time. Just a couple of cautions here and there. Guys being able to get spread out and enjoying the company and run that they would get. Next week it is IRP. That's one of my favorite short tracks for the trucks, if I do say so myself. It's going to be a top dominant track, so you're definitely going to see everybody running the wall. I know it's weird to see everybody running the wall, especially on a short track, but I promise you that's where you're going to see majority of the people. And then, we start getting into the harder part of the schedule, I guess you could possibly say. You're going to have a road course, you're going to have some dirt, you're going to have some mile and a halves, going to have some 2 mile tracks. This is going to be a fun, giggity moment here in the Core Racing League for the trucks and ARCA. So basically, wherever the ARCA is going to be, that's where trucks are going to be. And, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Can't thank you guys enough for all the follows and all the support that you guys bring to CRN. And, I'm just ready for next week. No broadcast tomorrow night as CRN is off for a couple more weeks until ECRC comes back. Thursday night, you're going to see Jimmy Covert and Carl Hanwerk in the broadcast booth as I go down in the 87s and try to work my bridesmaid magic again and hopefully finish one position higher than what I have the past 2 weeks. We're going to
Yeah,
be out in
competing for
Iowa.
that clean driver award this year too. I noticed.
Yeah, I'm just at 2 incident points because that wall slap that ended up sending me across the track at Nashville Super Speedway last week. If you guys want to go back and watch that, uh, it was a brown pants pucker moment for sure for
I'm
me
just
because it
saying,
it it absolutely scared the living crap out of me. I didn't think I was going
if
to do it,
somebody
and
if
yeah.
somebody had told me to start the season off that probably the favorite for the Clean Driver Award was going to be Dylan McDonald, I probably would have laughed in your face, to be honest with you. So I
Yeah.
mean, I just want to give you some applause, give you some credit where it's due, because that's not an easy. I am like at the bottom of that standings right now. So you're looking good, Dylan. Keep it up.
Yeah, I definitely had some time to reflect on, how I was racing people, and it that's kind of reflected how I want to keep my name clean and get keep my car clean as well. So definitely don't want to miss the action on Thursday night as we go to Iowa. And after running a lot of test laps there, I'm not really too fond of the track. It's going to be a little bit of slippy slidey. Race pace is going to be completely different. Friday and Saturday, though, no broadcast on CRN, but I'll be back here on Sunday for the Premier Series, and I believe they go to, if I'm not mistaken, looking here. Excuse me. They are getting ready to go to Knoxville in the Dirt Street Stocks. So if you guys like dirt track racing, that's going to be something that you don't want to miss. But tonight, that's going to do it for myself and Caleb Collins up here in the booth. Make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair.